Hello, Z here. This is a complimentary snatch training video. In it, you'll watch me and then hear me coaching myself through some of the snatch fundamentals, primarily working on the footwork and hip mobility. So first, I'm going to start with a barbell. Again, you can do these with the band. You can see my other videos to see how to do it with the band. But you can notice here from my initial positioning that my hands are wide and my feet are doing this funny like frog splay, which is not going to be beneficial for putting me in a good position later on in order to catch the bar. So here's a different angle. I'm also going a little bit too fast. You can see that was like the intent is to drop under the barbell. So here's another angle. Okay, this one I'm kind of driving it down. That's where you're not catching it under, but you squat under. Here's some other angles. So I'm doing a little bit of dip, and then I am dropping under. With the snatch, you want a wide grip. And this one, it's a hang if it's from the hips. One of the things I'm noticing as I'm watching myself back is that when I do my first initial dip, I'm not going as vertically down as you would want to be. When you're doing a snatch, you want to make sure that you are loading your legs. So part of the reason I think I was going fast in this is I didn't have a lot of time and I wanted to get some of the mobility that I feel like I'm missing. So with this one, I'm really just kind of focusing on getting my body under the bar to catch it. You can see that my legs are not landing in the proper position because I shouldn't need to be landing that far out. I think I'm also like not using, I think part of where you can see is that my toes are the ones that are going out. So that's what's causing the rest of my knees to come out. So here's another important angle. So it's a clean if it's from the floor. Okay, so you clean the floor. So with this, I feel like I'm also, you can tell I'm not getting it to the hips. When it gets to the hips, I should be springing up. And what seems to be happening is I'm kind of going forward. If I was to coach myself in this moment, I would say, okay, slow down. Your hips should be in front of the barbell, or your shoulders. Some more snatch work. Different angles. This one is focused on the muscle snatch. And that is where you're not having as much of you're not going forward. And this one I'm trying to use my hips more and engaging that for that muscle memory, because you can see that I'm not really extending in that part of my body. So I've started doing this roll, and I'll kind of show. But yeah, as you can see here, when I squat out, it's causing like an instability. You can see I'm also on my toes. Okay, so all of these cues are teaching me about what I'm kind of lacking, or where the error kind of begins, because you want to find the root of that. And that's why I keep going back to my toes. I keep going back to the foot placement, because that is where a lot of the errors for me kind of originate. It's from not putting placement in the back of the heels, not feeling like I need to use momentum instead of power. That's more of a mindset. So you can see I am grabbing a band because I can tell something's not working. And here I'm really trying to figure out, as you can see, when I do that dip, my knees are going out. And I feel like this is causing some of the forward falling that's happening when I do my snatches. there's also some weird things happening with my hips. This is all me trying to coach myself while potentially coaching someone out there for snatches. So this was my whole workout. Was not really, I mean, I think at the end I put a couple of weights on, but overall it was really focused on just that movement. You can see at the end I'm pushing off. I do that sometimes with my right leg. My right knee has some knee problems. Like I said, this, from that angle, you can tell that I am missing some real mobility. So this is a good workout that just felt good, but also is trying to train me to put more put a little bit more focus on sitting back and doing that rocking, because that's where the power comes from, not from the toes and not from the knees. It's going to have to come from the hamstrings and the glutes. So that's something that I'm kind of practicing. The barbell, when it has that weight, then becomes the counterweight, right? And so that's what's going to allow for you and the rest of your muscles to engage. One of the limiting components of my current training method is I do feel a lot stiffer. I feel like I'm not necessarily getting the mobility. And mobility is, for me, like being able to move my body in unison. I guess I dance quite a bit, but that's not getting perhaps then the flexibility. So I'm kind of missing some. So I'm trying to figure out where in my workouts and how I can kind of incorporate it so that I don't feel as stiff. The mind-body connection is there. I feel like I can correct certain things. Like that was a little bit better. This was, I believe, yes, I did only 25 kilos. And that's just because my goal was just to kind of, so that I lost it, right? A little bit. I was too far back. These, yeah, do have to be careful with your back and bracing. Here we go. And that one, I do feel like I caught that underneath and stood up. Sometimes I like catch it and press it down. Here's another angle. Okay. So that one, again, I kind of landed a little bit further, but I feel like I caught it underneath. I think I was just doing one snatch at a time. Sometimes I'll do two, and that's more to with grip, but because I was doing specifically technique, I really wanted to do one at a time. You can do 10 snatches at the end. There we go. That felt good. That looked good. 10, keep one weight and just practice. I was really practicing not guiding it down. But if you get fatigued, you get fatigued. This one, I pushed off a little bit from one leg to the other. I think the wide stance. I was told once that my legs in proportion were very long in proportion to the rest of my body. So that just means that I have a different, my arms coming down to the barbell is a little tougher for me. Make sure that that was me at the end. Bye.